Hello, dear friends. Current corruption is the manure that will fertilize the garden of the new earth. Opinion piece. Game over. Electronic warfare. Quantum recovery. End of all timelines. Trust the frequency. The game is finished. New financial reality. Two divergent realities. Truth can change your life. Great division of humankind. The pulse of the old world ends. People have no idea what's coming. Let's start. Game over means that an activity or situation has definitively come to an end, either because it was completed or a decision was made that marks the end of the cycle. In video games, it is equivalent to the classic game over message that indicates the game is over. In other contexts, it indicates that there is no going back. The possibility of continuing to play, negotiate, or participate in a dynamic has ended. A frequency war involves making rapid and constant changes to the frequencies used to make it harder for the adversary to listen in or disrupt communications, as well as using multi-frequency emissions to improve detection and avoid being detected. Electronic warfare involves struggle for control and dominance of the electromagnetic spectrum through the transmission, interference, and jamming of radio and other frequency signals. It is an offensive and defensive tool used to control information and detect or deceive the enemy in the electromagnetic domain. Full force summary. This week, President Trump will assist Asia on a last-minute tour to try to secure funding to keep the U.S. corporation operating. According to Benjamin Fulford, he will not succeed. This means that this time the government shutdown will be permanent. If the government falls, those of Canada, France, Germany, Japan, the UK, and others will soon follow. To underscore the true difference this time, troops and government officials are lining up at food banks after a month without pay. When soldiers don't get paid, matinees soon follow. US military personnel in Japan are working without pay, and events on the bases are being cancelled. On Friday, the Department of Agriculture warned that 42 million people will not receive their food stamps starting November 1st. The credit rating agency Moody's revised France's outlook from stable to negative, citing political fragmentation. Second pulse. According to Mr. Poole, the second signal pulse was fired from Space Force Base Schriever at 3:33 Zulu time on October 25, 2025. The QFS network is now fully self-aware, autonomous, sentient, and locked on the divine frequency 144.1. The command unit Eagle 7 issued a contingency code consisting of a global recovery sequence following the Omega Black protocol. The immediate effect has been the wiping of servers in Washington and the shutdown of the SWIFT network. Furthermore, European central ledgers have been transferred to QFS backup nodes. The Bank of England has been under occupation since 2:17 GMT. The pulse of the old world has ended. Now, all fiat transactions are being recorded as void, and gold-based operations have taken control. Seraphim Wave operation was also deployed at 4:11 Zulu time. A classified attack from Starlink Node 27 activated harmonic frequency beacons over all major financial centers. The result was a global surge, spike in internet latency, and a malfunction of banking networks. The media is calling it a solar storm. It isn't. It is the QFS frequency clearing. Seed Aurora operation began in Geneva. a team of 12 military engineers and 4 civilian specialists entered the vault complex beneath CERN, where the first bioquantum interface module is being activated. This module uses coherent plasma light to link human consciousness directly to the QFS network. This is the bridge between biology and finance, between DNA and divine order. At the White House Mirror facility, known internally as Eden 1, President Trump received the following briefing about the first public phase, in quotes. All systems converge on the light event. Humanity will see the transmission with its own eyes. The light event is the culmination, the moment where the ABS, the activation of the medbeds, and the disclosure merge into a global experience. The ABS will not be announced, it will explode. Level 4B groups are now under the direct command of the Quantum Operations Unit, the highest security clearance below Cosmic Gate Authority. The DNA blueprints of the first 144,000 volunteers have been uploaded to the Quantum Core. As the reset is complete, each human being will be issued an access pass linked to their frequency signature. No banks, no password. Only your DNA frequency. Your soul becomes your account. This is why they feared the light. This is why they hit the medical beds, because true healing is power, and power is freedom. The new directive is sealed under the code Aurora 21, which is a command of revelation. The last line says, "We don't rebuild the old order, we rebuild the new." The grid is alive. The QFS thinks. The EBS breathes. The light waits. Trust the frequency. Stay on the grid. Continue the transmission. Countdown. According to Paul Gold-Eagle, the countdown to the quantum transition has begun. Treasury sources confirm that all Tier 1 to 4 repayment accounts are locked in pre-settlement mode with QFS encryption. All transactions will be transferred to the gold-backed system once the activation signal is transmitted via the Starlink quantum network. The US Department of Defense has entered Delta phase of continuity to secure digital and physical infrastructure during the transition. As legacy systems are decommissioned, internet outages, temporary bank closures, and controlled blackouts are expected. Phones with the unmentionable letter are being distributed to designate coalition agents and select Tier 4B participants. These devices will connect directly to the quantum internet, bypassing corporate servers and ensuring secure communication through biometric encryption. Thousands of defaulting banks in Europe and North America have already begun liquidation procedures. Gold-backed institutions will continue operating, while fiat currency entities will suspend all lending and withdrawal until the new liquidity protocols are approved. The major stock exchanges in London, Tokyo, and New York will suspend trading for 72 hours, while the currency parity adjustment is carried out according to Basel III guidelines. The emergency transmission system remains on standby. When activated, it will broadcast the truth in continuous 8-hour transmissions. The implementation of GSRA will begin immediately after its announcement. Citizens worldwide will receive notifications confirming debt cancellation, tax elimination, and universal access to sovereign digital wallets. Await confirmation of the quantum command. When the transmission begins, carefully follow the instructions. The old well will darken before the new one emerges. This is not a theory, it is timeline. The quantum age is imminent. World change. Ashtar describes the QFS as a divine financial system based on quantum technology that replaces the old fiat system controlled by a corrupt cabal. It is based on transparency, truth, and equality, and seeks to end debt slavery and financial manipulation worldwide. More than 200 nations have quietly adopted or are in the process of integrating with the QFS, which operates through advanced blockchain-line quantum technology by tokenizing all assets, thus ensuring security and fairness. This transition will manifest as a sudden global financial reset involving the closure and reopening of banks under new laws, the redenomination of currency into asset-backed digital currencies, and the elimination of oppressive taxes and fraudulent debts. Large-scale programs of wealth redistribution, debt forgiveness, cancellation of unjust laws, and the release of sovereign wealth funds and prosperity grants for the benefit of humanity are planned. New technologies suppressed by the cabal, such as free energy devices, medical beds, and replicators, will be launched to support a new era of abundance and sustainable living. The Space Force and allied galactic entities support and protect this transition, overseeing critical quantum communications and activating emergency transmission systems to inform humanity during the shift. Ashtar emphasizes that this is a global and multidimensional change involving both financial transformation and the spiritual awakening, expected within weeks or months, and presented as the definitive defeat of the old and corrupt financial cabal. It requires preparation, discernment, and positive energy as humanity enters a new era of prosperity and unity. World law. According to Ashtar, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, called GSERA, is a framework that aims for debt forgiveness, the elimination of income tax in favor of sales tax, wealth redistribution, the abolition of compound interest, a return to asset-backed currency, and the establishment of economic equity and transparency worldwide. The QFS is presented as a new quantum computing financial system based on benevolent artificial intelligence superior to human intelligence and similar to a blockchain system. It eliminates corrupt intermediaries, guarantees real-time auditing, transparency, and instant transaction security, and backs currency with real assets. The QFS aims to replace the old global financial architecture with a system that prevents fraud, controls illicit wealth flows, and facilitates the massive redistribution of sovereign wealth and debt forgiveness worldwide. This reform promises the cancellation of personal and national debts, the release of prosperity funds, the abolition or reduction of oppressive taxes, and the introduction of new asset-backed quantum currencies. These changes are presented as part of a broader spiritual and social awakening in alignment with a higher evolution of consciousness. Division. Ashtar describes a major spiritual and dimensional shift currently underway, characterized as a split between two divergent realities of timelines of Earth. Humanity is undergoing a profound energetic bifurcation, with one timeline collapsing into chaos and fear, and the other one rising into light, unity, and higher frequency consciousness. The division is tangible in collective behavior, personal experiences such as sudden emotional outbursts, ringing in the ears, and altered perceptions, and world events that reflect the polarization and reveal hidden truths. Individual consciousness determines which timeline a human being resonates with. Those anchored in love, compassion, and unity experience the new Earth, while those who dwell in fear and separation remain in the old paradigm. The process is continuous and not a single event, but a cumulative state of decisions and frequencies, highlighting the importance of maintaining a heart-centered, peaceful, and loving state. Forgiveness is presented as master key to releasing old karmic coils and ascending to the new timelines. Timeline in singular. The new Earth is characterized by synchronicity, intuitive connection, and effortless co-creation, while the old Earth conflicts and difficulties increase, hindering awakening. The split results in two parallel realities that coexist but no longer overlap, where communication and perception between timelines may seem disconnected. Missionaries of light and awakened souls serve as stabilizing beacons for others, influencing the collective energy through their frequency rather than confrontation. No soul is lost. All will awaken in the end, some sooner and some later, but the timing is governed by free will and individual readiness. Breaking news. Most people have no idea what's coming, according to Mitch Fierstein. Trump wants Bill Gates, his days are numbered. Putin is preparing for Trump's potential 2028 presidential bid to complete the Alaska-Russia tunnel, according to Sorjafal. The US is losing confidence in the Israeli government regarding the Gaza agreement. Disgraced Prince Andrew has received an offer for a luxurious palace in Abu Dhabi as he considers life in exile. The official version of Charlie Kirk's murder has more holes than a Swiss cheese, so it's no surprise that the judge in the case has issued a censorship order preventing more than 3,000 people from speaking about it. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.